All right, we're on the home stretch. So at this point, we'd like to take a brief moment and acknowledge the 30 years of impact that Promise has had on so many in this room and the broader community. Specifically, we'd like to acknowledge one individual that has helped more individuals reach their goal of business ownership than any other Promise member, and this member is Pat Morris. And Pat is staring at me right now. We didn't tell Pat we were doing this. He's not going to be happy with the attention. But Pat has personally changed the trajectory for so many members, their families, and the thousands of team members that work for the companies that have been bought or started as a result of Promise Partners and Pat's mentorship. Pat is the co-founder of Promise Partners. He is a former partner in a major law firm downtown Cleveland and gave up that career path to focus on entrepreneurship. Pat owns multiple businesses and is best known for his direct and candid feedback on all aspects of a member's plan, readiness to buy a business, or a specific deal. I recently heard Pat say to a member, "If you have thick skin and you'd like my feedback, give me a call." And it is this honest feedback, and sometimes brutally honest feedback, that Pat gives that is so incredibly valuable to the dozens of Promise owners and heroes, as we refer to them, on our path to entrepreneurship. Without Pat's consistent leadership for the last 3 decades, Promise would likely not be here today. So to honor Pat, we are adding a new annual award to our organization. This award, the Morris Award, will go to individuals that have furthered the mission of Promise Partners, entrepreneurship, or ETA in Northeast Ohio. Pat, if you could please stand and be acknowledged, and if we can congratulate you on 30 years of extraordinary leadership. All right. So Pat, congratulations and thank you for all you've done and all you continue to do. We'll give this award at our annual meeting in the spring. Pat will be our first honorary member, and we'll continue with his legacy. So thank you, Pat. So I had some, brief comments that I was going to put together to close, but I'm going to throw some of those out the window and just, really thank everyone for the energy and the wisdom that you brought to these conversations. I think from a Promise Partners perspective, we were blown away with the number of folks that we have here, the expertise that we have in the room, from business owners that are not even a part of Promise Partners to professional service organizations, to angel investors, to a whole community that is truly passionate about entrepreneurship. And what I know about entrepreneurship is entrepreneurship changes lives. And I know that entrepreneurs change people's lives. And one of the best parts of my role as board chair or managing partner for Promise Partners is seeing new members come into the organization and knowing that, their lives are going to be drastically changed as a result of being a part of this organization. Nationally, 1% to 2% of all Americans own business owners, and we're between 20 and 30% of all folks that raise their hand and are interested in Promise Partners go on to be business owners. So if you have an interest in business ownership, Promise Partners is an organization that will literally 10x your chances of being successful on this path. So want to thank all of you for your energy, and as we shared at the beginning, that pay it forward mentality. So as just a couple of quick cleanup notes, I'm going to start with Lauren's. If you guys can put your name tags on the table. We are a nonprofit. They are expensive, so we'd really appreciate if we could reuse those at future events. As you go to the QR code and get the survey, you'll also get that resource guide. That resource guide is incredible. There's a ton of information, both on our sponsors, the organizations that can help you continue this conversation, to very practical, learnings from videos to playbooks to just a ton of resources. So hopefully that'll be a really great value add for for your registration here today. There will also be a link to 2 webinars. So one is for business owners. If you would like to learn more about this, In this format, in this time period, the goal today was to really just scratch the surface. As we take, any of these topics, we could fill 4 hours with, just one of those. But as you start thinking about, you're a current business owner, you're looking to maximize your time. Maybe you've been doing this for many years. You've got the wisdom, you've got some capital. Maybe how do you use this to truly recruit some exceptional talent using equity as a tool? It may be a story like Scott's where you can maximize your time, where you go from being the CEO of one company to now really investing and sharing that learning with multiples and have a large portfolio of companies. So we'll give some additional resources there. Also, there's a webinar for individuals that are interested in Promise. And for me, I joined Promise out of the Weatherhead school. I was green behind the ears. My joke is my mom wouldn't even back me at that time. But I had a journey of building skill set that would ultimately put me in a position to be backable and to have the skills to ultimately be successful on this journey. So for those that are interested in Promise, you've heard some, really would love to show you what that might look like. And encourage you to explore being a member of Promise. One of the really interesting things as we looked at the panel, and this was one of our challenges, was how do we distill this into a 4-hour conversation? As we look at the panel, you have just a wide variety of paths to entrepreneurship. You have individuals that did it on their own. Maybe they bought a small business and they scaled that and they bought additional businesses. You've got folks that had partners and brought that collectively and shared some risk and had the backing of the knowledge. You have the wisdom of Cheryl and her organization if you're looking to do something, well, also on the small side, but very significant. So it really runs the gamut. But my favorite stories are the folks that have a passion for entrepreneurship. They've been working in industry, they've built some skill set, they've saved some dollars. They go out and through our teaching, find a way to buy a small business, and they scale that business. And it's just amazing to see the benefits, not just from a wealth creation perspective, but all the benefits of business ownership, whether that's the autonomy, whether that's the meaning you have giving back to others, whether that's improving the lives of your team members and the community around us. So with that, I'd like to again thank all of our sponsors, our presenters, Case Western Reserve University and the Weatherhead School of Management, our facilitator Jeff Bauman, the Promise Partners Board who has put a ton of work on this, Lawrence Migleski, our Promise Partners Administrator, you've probably interfaced with her with the registration, and all of those that have contributed to today's success. So we have some time. I invite you to continue the conversation if you'd like. I'd encourage you to visit some of the sponsors in the hallway on your way out, and we look forward to seeing you at future events. Thank you.